Dario, obviously you guys are just a couple days away or handful of days away from playing the first exhibition game. How are you feeling about it, and how excited are you to get that going?
Yeah, of course. Like not just me. I think all guys are very excited. To be back, to get the chance. To fight one more time, to get one more dance. Before season is done. And first of all, we have like three friendly games or preseason games. However, we are excited. To play. I think we've been working hard for these 10 days. I think even back in Phoenix, we were working hard. All these months what are behind us, and now we have a chance. To play, to enjoy the game, enjoy the moment, and execute was the game plan.
Okay, Kellen Olson, Arizona Sports is next. He'll be followed by Gina Mizell. Kellen, your question.
Hey, Dario, what were you really looking to work on during the quarantine in the past couple of months? Coach has mentioned that you've looked a little bit more. Speed was something that he focused on. You looked a little bit more mobile when you came back.
Maybe I've been working 1 hour every day on a core 1 hour on in a weight room. I've been working with Jeff Dolan. Strength conditioner guy for 2 months. Every day, 5 times, 6 times per week, and kind of I feel well. I feel ready. Cannot wait to play, and I've been working on my floats too. Try to improve my game in every segment, in every situation to be better on the court, if I can help to my team.
Okay, Gina Mizell, the floor is yours. Dave King, Bright Side of the Sun, you are next. Go ahead, Gina.
Hey, Dario. I mean, even going back to before the season was suspended, you were playing really well. And so I'm curious what was working for you back in March that you feel like you can sort of pick up and carry over now with the game starting back up again?
Yeah, it's kind of hard question, but I think I've been more focused. I think I really realized how to play with the other teammates. Maybe I'm the guy who need a little bit more time, to meet with the team. Let's say to meet on the court what they want, because when you play position four, you really need to know your team, to get your shots, to get situation for yourself, and maybe that was the reason. I don't know. Maybe Kelly was injured. I get more play minutes. Maybe is the reason. Maybe I just realized, how to play and play hard. For all minutes what I get on the court. I don't know. Maybe just happened. It's hard to me to know, but I think right now mentally, I'm ready to repeat the games for sure, and I cannot wait, to start from the preseason and to the season too.
Okay, the next question comes from Dave King, Bright Side of the Sun. After that will be Dwayne Rankin with a follow-up question. Go ahead, Dave.
Hey, Dario. You've been in Orlando practicing and all that for about a week now. What have you seen so far from the new point guard signing, Cameron Payne? He's the only real change on the roster. And what does he bring to the floor that you haven't seen in the other guys, or what do you think he's going to bring in the upcoming games?
Yeah, I think he's a very good and very talented player. I play a couple of times against him in the league, but now in the practice I realized that he's the guy who can really play the pick and roll, who can run the team, who can push the pace. I think he will be great adjustment to our team, and I think it's just his IQ, his basketball IQ is a big. He really understands on a court what books need, what. DA needs. He's a really, really smart player, and I think he will be great adjust for our team. And he can control the game too, and very good defensively. And he's been working hard too. He really came, jump in a shoes. He really didn't learn the offenses, but in 10 days he looks like he's been with us, from day one.
Hey, Dwayne. Dwayne has a follow-up question. Go ahead with your question, Dwayne.
Thank you, DC. Dario, just curious, how has Mikhail looked so far? He's obviously been a glue guy for you guys. How's he looked in practice in Orlando?
Mikhail?
Yes.
Yeah. He's looking good. He's looking good. His shooting he's improved so much, you know, from the not just an end of the season. I think he improved a lot from beginning of the season. You know, he's really capable to shoot. He's beating us on the shooting drills, you know, and he's really good. He's really looking good, and you know, obviously he's the guy who can glue every spots on the court. He was playing on the both ways, and he's looking good. He's looking fresh and good. He's been working like since day one. You know, he's in a great form, great shape, and I think he will be one of our key players.
Gina Mizell also has a follow-up question. Go ahead, Gina.
Hey, Dario. I mean, after the time in Orlando, you've obviously got your future is a little bit up in the air as far as what's next for you. So I don't want to use the word pressure, but do you sort of view these last 8 games or however long the season goes as an opportunity for you to really show what you can do, or can you not think about that too much?
But for sure, end of the day, it's opportunity. You know, every day it's a new opportunity, even on practice, even on a game. You know, you need to have that mindset every day. You know, sometimes you will be good, sometimes you will be bad, but like, you know, you need to have the same mindset. You know, try to get everything from that day, and that's motivation for me. But I'm trying to really don't put stone on my back. You know, to make kind of pressure. You need do this. You need to play like this. You need like this. You know, I really try to focus. You know, what's the best for the team, what's the best for me after. You know, and just enjoying and play basketball. And what happen in future. And I'm still blessed. You know, to be part of this great team. You know, young guys. You know, great organization, and above and not put stone on my back. You know, and the kind of have a bad nights, you know, if I don't do the right thing.
Okay, and the final question comes from Richard Sines, Channel 10. Go ahead, Richard.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, you know, you guys have been practicing and playing against each other. How anxious are you to play against another team and face, you know, somebody else? How much more exciting is it to play someone else instead of just practicing against each other all the time?
Yeah, it's exciting. You know, we've been working for like almost now like 3 months maybe, you know, every day. And kind of to have a chance to play against somebody else, you know, to see the other faces, you know, on the opposition team is kind of, it's gonna be cool for us and kind of good thing, you know, and we cannot wait like a team, you know, to play against other teams. I'm excited, you know, it's been like what I say, 3 months or no, even more from the last game, you know, and you really want to jump on the court and play against the best players in this league.
Dario, thank you for spending time with us today. That concludes the questions. Appreciate you.
Thank you, guys. See you. Bye-bye.
Monty's up next, so if you want to raise your hands, he will be with us in a minute. Hello, Monty.
Hey, Jay.
All right. Morning, Coach. First question comes from Kellen Olson, Arizona Sports. Go ahead, Kellen, with your question.
Hey, Monty, how do you guys really look to plan out a day like this where you're wrapped up with practice before noon and the whole day's in front of you, but you already got the basketball part done?
I think it's a great way for us to test our adaptability with all of the different practice times. We've had, 6 to 9, we've had 1 to 4, 2 to 5, and we've had a really good one at the earliest slot. And we've had shooting times at 10 o'clock at night. So it's a great way for us to, navigate uncertainty. It's something that we've discussed as a team. And, we've always preached this is a get to and not a got to. We get to be in the gym. If you think about where people are in our social structure as it relates to first responders, people who are marching and protesting peacefully for equality and social justice. When you compare what we're dealing with to that, this is such a blessing and a gift to be able to be in the gym and practice and play basketball and coach basketball. So I think our guys understand that. And the fact remains that something like 44 million people are jobless, and half of those people may not have a job when all of this subsides. And so when you put it in perspective in those terms, being in the gym at a different time on a daily basis isn't that big of a deal.
Okay, next question comes from Dwayne Rankin, Arizona Republic. Then we will have Brendan Clean, Locked On Suns. Go ahead, Dwayne.
Thanks, DC. Coach, been talking with people about the setup, and they're saying that the workout, like the weights and everything, is within walking distance of the courts. I guess, how do you feel about the setup? I mean, is it ideal for where you guys are in terms of the gym and the weight room and the training? Is all that encompassed in a closed-in area for you guys to easily get to?
It's just like the state-of-the-art practice sites that I've been to, and it's somewhat like the one we're going to go into back home in Phoenix. Everything's in close proximity. The guys can go to the court, to the training room, and to the weight room in a matter of seconds. And so from that standpoint, it's pretty efficient. I think what the league has done, if everybody was honest about it and and cut the complaining out, I think everybody would admit that this is above expectations based on what you thought you were going to see when you first got here. So the setup to me is pretty cool.
Okay, the next question is Brendan Clean, Locked On Suns. He'll be followed by Cameron Cox, Channel 12. Brendan?
Hey, Monty, I know yesterday you talked about the work that Mikhail has done with Darko. And I know throughout the season, you've given the assistant coaches that leeway to just go have that relationship with the player. Why is that important to you to kind of delegate in that way? And what do you get out of empowering your assistants to go do those types of things?
Yeah, I mean, it's, you hire or you ask people to partner with you because they have a skill, they have a gift, to coach and teach. And, I find myself, giving confidence to the coaches and allowing coach, an assistant coach, and a player to have a relationship that could help us as a program, but it also allows for them to grow. There are times where a head coach can make a comment or say something or butt in to a certain situation, and more times than not, the player and the assistant are going to try to do what I ask, but I find myself getting in the way. And I go back to how I was brought into the league with Pop and RC. They allowed me to coach even when I didn't know what I was doing. And they allowed me to make mistakes. And I can remember Brett Brown and PJ Carlissimo and Donnie Newman taking me to the side and saying, "Mon, slow down, Mon, think about this." And usually with PJ, there was a bleep in there, but I understood it because he was just trying to show me the way. And then I got to Portland, and I remember vividly Nate McMillan just telling me to coach. I asked him, like, "Nate, what do you want me to do?" I didn't know him well at all. He was like, "You just coach." And it gave me a platform to form relationships, to grow as a coach. And so I want to be able to do that for the guys on our staff. I believe we have head coaches in the making on our staff. And if I'm in the way all the time, they can't grow as coaches. And I certainly was afforded that opportunity when I was an assistant.
All right, next is Cameron Cox, Channel 12. He'll be followed by Tom Leander, Suns Broadcast. Go ahead, Cameron.
Coach, good morning. Just curious if you had any roster updates for us and if the gray hairs are a little less this morning.
No updates at all. No, I don't.
Is that I guess for you, is that a little frustrating that one, you can't talk about who's there and who's not there? And
No, it's not frustrating. I understand you guys have a job, but I also have to be careful. You know what I'm saying? And so I you try to balance. I want to give you guys what you need, but at the same time, there's certain restrictions on what I can talk about. And so I think you guys understand that. And I appreciate you guys dealing with my nonsense as it relates to that.
All right, the floor goes to Tom Leander, Suns broadcast, and then we will have Richard Sines, Channel 10. Tom, go ahead with your question.
Hey, Coach, about a week ago, you talked about Cameron Payne and your relationship with him in Oklahoma City. Since you've seen him in Orlando, how has he changed as a player? How has he matured? And where does he kind of stand possibly in the rotation?
Well, I mean, when you've been through what Cam has been through, being a high pick in an organization like Oklahoma City and not have that work out and have to go, get traded, go to the G League, I would imagine he's been through a lot of reflection and some humbling moments. And so what I see from Cam so far is a guy that is trying to take advantage of the opportunity to be on this particular team. And as far as the rotation is concerned, there's nothing to report there. I'm going to, continue to evaluate the scrimmages, and when we start to play in these, preseason games, I'll be able to make a better assessment. What I'm looking for, and I think I said this yesterday, is somebody has to step up and take the backup position at the point guard spot. And, whether it's, Payne or Ty, Ellie, Javon typically plays a pseudo point guard. He can facilitate, but we like Javon playing in that renegade wing spot because he's just a pit bull. And so I'm looking for that guy. It could be Cam, it could be Ty, it could be Ellie, I'm not sure.
Okay, Coach, final two questions of the morning come from Richard Sines, Channel 10, and then Dave King, Bright Side of the Sun. Richard, go ahead with your question.
Hey, Coach. We just talked to Dario about, these preseason games coming up, and he was just saying he's excited about seeing a different face and going up against a different color jersey. How about you from an evaluation standpoint and just maybe breaking up the monotony and getting these guys' juices flowing and see what they do with live action, so to speak?
I mean, I'm looking forward to it for the guys, but from my perspective, I love practice. I think it's a great time to, develop players, develop your schemes, learn. So practice to me is so valuable right now for us to have this time. The time we had before Orlando and this time here has been money in the bank. And so I like it a ton, but I know the guys want to start to compete against, other teams and play some games. And so I'm looking forward to that for them.
All right, the final question, Dave King, Bright Side of the Sun.
Hey, Monty. With regard to DeAndre Ayton and his offensive game, I know he's played a little bit different on offense than the other big men on your team this year, like Frank and Dario and Aaron Baines have all taken about 4 threes a game or so when they're in a main role, but DA has not. Do you see DA fitting more into the standard offense for the Suns going this 8-game stint, or do you see him still remaining in his own unique role?
I think he'll be in his unique role with some threes being thrown in there ever so often. The one thing that DA does for us that no one else can do at that level is put pressure on the rim. And, you know, that frees up so many guys. And so I don't want to take that away. But he has worked on his three-point range. He's getting more arc on the shot. He's been really diligent about, you know, getting the lift in it with his legs and getting it up in the air. And I've always told guys, if you work on something with intention, you should do it in the game. And so I want him to have confidence to do that. And we've never held him back from shooting out there because we feel like he can and will be able to do that. But we don't want him to ever forget about his ability to dominate the box, or when he's diving in deep rolls and short rolls in that mid-range game. He's a willing passer, and so there's a lot to his game. And when you look at the numbers, you know, what he did last, or the first 65, you know, you don't want to mess with that. When a guy can average that many points and that many rebounds and shoot that percentage, that's something you want to, you know, stay away from tinkering with too much.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate your time.
Thank you, DC.
Hi, Cam.
Hey, how you doing?
Good morning. Okay, the first question we're going to have from Dwayne Rankin, Arizona Republic, followed by Kellen Olson, Arizona Sports. Dwayne, your question?
Thanks, DC. Cameron just had Dario on. He raved about your abilities, pick and roll, play with pace, defend, a high IQ. Felt like you've been here since day one. How's that feel to know that you've only been with the guys for 10 or so days and you already have left an impression?
I mean, man, coming from him is big time. I really appreciate it, man. But it's really all about getting better. I mean, if it really weren't for the screens being set and, you know what I'm saying, just playing with pace and really having the guys giving me a little bit more confidence and making me feel good about being around the team, that really helps a lot. And just being comfortable with the guys is making it better for me.
Okay, next question is from Kellen Olson, Arizona Sports, followed by Cody Cunningham with the Suns. Go ahead.
Hey, Cam, how have you seen yourself? I don't use the word improve, but just grow from that first day we talked to you compared to now with learning the system and not being overwhelmed now, I bet.
Man, it's helping me a lot. I come at night to try to learn more plays. It helped me to come out to not think so much on the court instead of just playing basketball. Because, I mean, a lot of our plays just go into just basketball. And just learning the core sets helping me because, I mean, I got to be able to know every position on the court. And, man, finally just getting out there, learning more and more plays, and then learning my teammates. Like I say, it's just helping me become a better player with the team.
Cody Cunningham, Phoenix Suns, your question, followed by Tom Leander, Suns broadcast. Go ahead, Cody.
Hey, Cam. So it's been, nearly 2 weeks since you've entered the bubble. Just overall, how have you gotten pretty used to it? And, how has it maybe helped you grow closer with your teammates quicker than, in a normal situation of joining a new team?
I'll go with how, learn with them first. I mean, us going and eating every day with the team and, just learning, what they do off the court, how they are off the court. It helps the on-court intangibles. And just being able to talk to one another, it's helping me learn them even more, eating lunch together, walking back and forth to the bus, walking to the hotel rooms, just little stuff like that you really wouldn't get a lot being at home on a regular schedule. You kind of just see them at the gym and everybody go home, and it's kind of tough to get a feel for guys. So being here is actually helping me a lot more than actually being, in Phoenix, just going to the gym and coming home. So that's big time. And if you don't mind, what was the rest of the first question? The beginning of that question?
It was just, how have you gotten used to the bubble just over the last 2 weeks?
I mean, it's pretty easy because we kind of got the same schedule over and over. Go to the gym, come back and eat, and be in the room all day. I don't really want to hang out too much. I don't ever want my test to come positive or anything like that, just trying to be safe. So I just, you kind of get used to just going to the gym, coming back to the room, playing video game, watching TV, then go back to the gym, come back to the room. And you kind of just get used to that schedule. I'm pretty used to it now, and I'm starting to get comfortable with that.
Okay, next question comes from Tom Leander, Suns broadcast, followed by Richard Sines with Channel 10. Go ahead, Tom.
Hey, Cam. Monty Williams talked about a very direct conversation. You guys had your rookie year in Oklahoma City, kind of some tough love. What are your memories of that conversation, and how have you changed because of it?
I mean, his main thing was about how do I stay in the league, and it was all about, man, what can I do? Like the things I can control and the things I can't control. And he made it a point, like being on time, being early. Like, why not? Why not be here early? And it's kind of crazy because when he called me about coming to Phoenix, the first question he asked me was, do you remember the conversation we had? And I was like, absolutely. And he said, I can see that already, that you're already mature. You're becoming more mature and coming into yourself, that you're picking up on the things that you learned from the past. And he was just big on, get your work in, you know what I'm saying? Be grateful you're here. A lot of people can't come in and can't come and say that in the NBA. So he was just like, be grateful for all the opportunities and attack it. And that was huge coming from him after not being with him or not talking to him for 3 to 4 years. And for him to just automatically see it in me from watching me play, not even having a conversation. So it was huge on him actually feeding me those words because it actually pumped me up even more and be happy and be grateful that I'm actually here and I made it back. So that conversation that we first had, it was kind of, at the time, it was like, man, why are you telling me that? Like, I'm always here on time and things like that. But you don't realize it until you get older and you see yourself outside of things. And once you get back, you know how to handle them.
Hey, Richard Sines, Channel 10 is the next question, followed by Gina Mizell. Richard?
Yeah, Cam, Monty talked about your journey, from being a high draft pick to, the G League and playing in China and all that stuff. Not that you weren't, hungry before, but, you kind of touched on it when you've gone through what you've gone through and still, at such a young age, how much has that changed your philosophy and just your hunger and desire to stay in the league now that you are back? Because I guess you now know 1 minute you can be here, the next minute you can't, you won't.
I mean, my whole thing is to, man, leave everything on the court. From going and playing in the G League, from going to China, I don't want to see myself outside of this league again. And the biggest way for me to do that is to be consistent, be on time, and outwork the next guy. My whole thing is I want to leave on the court that I played my hardest, I gave my all. I never want to take no shortcuts anymore because it's not worth it. It's not worth being on the outside looking in when you feel like you should be in there. So my biggest thing is just to keep working as hard as I can, and, just keep getting better, and just keep showing people that I should be here. And like I said, stay as long as I can.
Up next, Gina Mizell, followed by Dave King, Bright Side of the Sun. Gina?
Yeah, Cam, to sort of follow up on that last question, was there a moment over the last maybe year or so where that really clicked for you? Like, oh shoot, if I don't change something, or if I don't improve, or if I don't do something different, like this is it, I'm out of the league, or just kind of what are a couple moments that really stuck with you in that way?
The biggest moment is when I was in Toronto. Before I made it to Toronto, I was kind of in that little, what's going on, talking to my agent, what's going on? And he said, Toronto wanted you. And when Toronto didn't pick me up, it was just like a humbling experience. And I was just kind of thrown off and was like, man, what's going on? And when I went to China, it was just like, okay, it's time to grow up. It's time to take care of your body. It's time to eat right. I can't be injured. I can't be, not available. I have to be available at all times, especially in the position that I'm in. So when I went to China, it was all about reinventing myself as a guy on the court and a guy off the court. And when I got to the G League, when I came back from China, it kind of showed and people seen that. And it put me in the position to get this opportunity with Phoenix now.
Okay, Dave King, Bright Side of the Sun. You are next, followed by Dwayne Rankin, Arizona Republic. Dave, go ahead.
Hey, Cam, you've been with the team a couple of weeks now, and like you said, you've gotten real close with them. But you've seen them on the court. Which player or players, pick out a couple of them that have surprised you that they've been a little different than you expected them to be?
I mean, for one, I knew D-Book was a great player. But when you actually get on the court with him every day, see his work ethic, I mean, it shows why he's in the talks to being one of the top guys in this league. And also DA, the guy's energy is unmatchable. Every morning, he's the guy to get everybody going. Kelly Oubre, he's the guy to get everybody going. And sometimes you need those kind of guys just to set the tone for practice. And I was pretty surprised on that. We have a lot of young guys and a lot of great shooters. And the combination of both is crazy. JC, his defense ability is absolutely off the charts. And going up against him every day, Book goes against him every day. And I mean, he make us better. He make us work on our game offensively. And then when you go back and you hold Book, he make us work on our game defensively. And Dario, I mean, I can go on and on about every single player because I've never played with any of these guys. And they all just, they have different abilities that's great for the team. And it just matches each player. And like the chemistry of all the guys, it just mesh so well.
Okay, Cam, the final two questions of the morning for you come from Dwayne Rankin, Arizona Republic. He'll be followed by Paul Richardson, the Sports Cave. Dwayne, go ahead.
Thanks, DC. Cameron, sticking with giving us scouting reports on players, wanted to ask you about Mikal Bridges, and just because of the versatility that he had, how big could he be for you guys in this restart?
Man, he can be huge. He actually surprised me on how well he can shoot the ball. His shooting is off the charts, and his length, he's always in the passing lane, always able to contest shots, always able to get blocks. I mean, his channels on defense is great. He talks, he gets into the ball. I mean, he's actually a great player. If anyone says different, I can argue about it. I see it every day in practice, and I mean, he's so versatile offensively and defensively, and I mean, he helps the team a lot as well.
Okay, Cam, the final question of the morning comes from Paul Richardson, the Sports Cave. Paul?
Cam, Coach said that he's waiting for someone to take that backup point guard position. What do you do to actively take that to, I guess to use a phrase, put a chokehold and say, this is my spot. Everyone else, this is how we're going to roll from now on.
I mean, it's a tough thing for sure. But I think the biggest thing as a person coming in as a backup role is to be consistent every day, even on the off days. You got to be as consistent as you can and be very sound defensively. You got to be able to take control when you're out there on the court and be vocal. You got to be a leader as well as the starters. And it's not an easy job. Because you can't make too many mistakes, but it's all about being consistent and knowing what the coach wants on the court. It's a big time role. I know you say it's like it's a backup point guard, but as a backup point guard, you really got to be a starter in a sense, and you have to be great every day. Not great, but you have to be solid and be consistent every day, and you just got to keep working to make that happen.
Cameron, thank you for joining us today.
No problem. Appreciate you guys.